All right, gentry, let me tell you something. September 19th, the year 2015, here we are at the OSWA, and I'll tell you something, it's one of the greatest shows in the history of mankind, and I'll tell you why. Because PK's not here. He's not here because he didn't have the professionalism to show up.
Now, you know just darn good and well, Joe, that your brother had other business he had to attend to, so that's why he asked me to make sure you didn't go and ruin the OCAP here.
Oh, please, let me tell you something. I know it. I'm going to call it right down the middle. You know me, I'm a very fair and balanced man, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right, well, let's talk about how the show opened this week.
Out comes the Bad Boys Club, the Fab Four, the best stable in the world of professional wrestling.
In your opinion.
And as a matter of fact, and I'll tell you something, Jake Hughes did a very noble thing. You know, he deserves that Ultimate Championship, and he told Jackson Carter, you know what, you worked very hard at that, but now it's time to hand that title back over to me, so lay yourself down, let's get a 3 count, and get me back to being the Ultimate Champion again. Jackson Carter protested, refused. That's okay.
That's because he's a competitor. Jake wants the title so bad, why didn't he wrestle him for it?
Well, I'll tell you why, because Jake doesn't have to prove himself anymore. He is the champion. So here we go. Then, guess who comes out? Johnny Walker.
Right, the Highlander makes his return back to the OSWA, and he still wants a piece of Jake Hughes.
Yeah, he goes out there, sore loser that he is. Hey, Jake Hughes, I want to challenge you. I want to fight you. And Jake Hughes, guess what? He says, fine. Yeah, you can, but first, you have to go through our Ultimate Champion first. You have to go through Jackson Carter before you get to me. So then that set the stage for
a great main event tonight when Johnny Walker took on Jackson Carter with the Ultimate title up for grabs. But we'll talk more about that later on. Let's talk about the opening matchup.
That's right. I will talk about it. Not you.
Fine.
Yeah.
Please tell us about the first contest of the night.
All right. Well, Ace Striker, the commissioner, comes out because we have these tag teams. There's 3 of them. We had Deadly Instincts.
We had Completely Awesome, and of course the Royal.
Yeah,
and I said it
Royal.
right. The Royal.
Yeah, you say it right.
Royal.
Because they deserve the respect that they get. And so they come out there and they're going back and forth. Ace Striker, our esteemed commissioner, comes out and with the experience and wisdom that he has, he says, hey, if you guys want to compete for who's the top dog, who's the #1 contender for the OSWA Tag Team Championships, well then let's get a 3-way match here, and whoever the winner is will be the #1 contender.
And absolutely a very competitive match back and forth between all 3 teams, but in the end, Completely Awesome, Zach Daniels, Chad Silva walked away with the victory, and now we'll face CTMD down the road for the OSWA Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, that's right, Completely Awesome. Nice double teaming, by the way, to get that pin on Patrick Samuels.
That was a tag team match. It's what they're supposed to do.
Double teaming. It should be 1 competitor in the ring at a time. Call a spade a spade. They double teamed. Congratulations on your cheap victory. So anyways, let's move on to match number 2. Now, Anthony Tom and Jerry comes out.
Anthony Marinelli, the commissioner of OSWA.
Yes, all right. Anthony Tripoli comes out, and Mr. Sicily says, hey, you know what? Right now, our corporate title is open because Curtis Coleman got injured. He's out of commission right now, and so he had to give up his corporate title. So he decided to have a battle royal for the corporate title. And then whoever came down to the last 2 of the corporate the battle royal, they were going to have a match right then, right there for the corporate title. And it came down to guess who?
Your boyhood favorite, Jake Hughes, and Adrian Phillips, the most improved wrestler of 2014.
Oh, you know what? I am taking a break from PK. I don't want to hear anything.
I didn't want you to forget about it, because, I mean,
I don't have to forget about that. I got the memory of an elephant. I don't need any of that reminding. Yeah, you say what you want, but I'll tell you something. I got the brain of a god. Now you, well, we'll discuss that later if you have the brain power to discuss it. Well, anyways, so it came down to Adrian Phillips and Jake Hughes, but I'll tell you something. Adrian Phillips, a flash in a pan, a fluke, elbow off the top rope. He gets lucky, and he gets a pin. He pins my man, Jake Hughes. But let me tell you something.
I know. It was a hard moment for you. You wanted to shed a tear and all, but because of the victory, Adrian Phillips is now your corporate champion. And quite frankly, he's had a great 2015 so far. He's corporate champion. He still has the golden ticket, so he can possibly at some point challenge for the Ultimate title as well.
Who cares? Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. You know what? Crazy Fresh. He is tag partners with guess who? Curtis Coleman. Right. So I can't wait till Curtis Coleman gets back. I want to see what he does about Adrian Phillips and the corporate title that he stole from him. Yeah, that's right. Stole.
Well, Curtis, they'll come to that bridge when they get to it. Curtis.
And I will be there at the bridge as the keeper.
Right. Well, our next matchup, Night Gemini of the tag team, the Twins of Terror.
Yes, from the Stars of Atlanta, whatever.
Took on James Boulevard, the keeper of the Big Book of Professional.
That's right, the student of the game, the perfectionist, the professor, the man. He is schooled in the art of professional wrestling, and he proved it tonight. Scorn came out with Gemini, one of the Twins of Terror, right. And he decided to try and cheat, even though everybody was cheering for him. Throws in brass knuckles, but Gemini, the idiot, misses it, and then he is met with a fist to the face from James Boulevard, and James Boulevard
behind the referee's back, mind you.
Still, he won. And you know what? It didn't matter. It wasn't an illegal move. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
say what you want. James Boulevard, the man, the student, the man, he beat him. He pinned Gemini. And then Scorn, a sore loser, guess what he does? He gets the brass knuckles, hits his partner, hits Gemini, and says, "You're holding me back, you're a loser, you're not a part of my team anymore," and he splits with him.
So the Twins of Terror no more, so we'll see if that comes to blows in the future. But by far the next match, absolutely one of the best of the night, in my opinion. The Generations Championship on the line. The Bad Boys Club member himself, Kit Bryson, taking on the exceptional Will Caution in a 15-minute time limit matchup. And boy, did these two go at it for the entire time.
They scratched, they clawed, they fought, they did everything they could. They even brought every arsenal that they could possibly get inside their heads into that game. And guess what? They were too good for one another. It went 15 minutes, no winner. It was a draw. That just goes to show how tough and how gritty those two wrestlers are.
And absolutely. And I would personally love to see that match happen again. And I think Will Caution rightfully earned himself another shot at the Generations Championship.
Absolutely. And then that brings us to our next match. Vengeance versus Jimmy Lee, formerly of White Trash. And I'll tell you something, there was something very wrong with that match.
Yeah.
Every time that Vengeance was calling out Jimmy Lee, he kept calling him Z. Yeah, everybody knows that he hates Z. There's a major grudge between the two of them. But then something really weird happened.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, Jackie Damon, she gets in the head of Vengeance. She is telling him, beat Z, defeat Z, and he is saying it too. She is getting him to see Z in all his opponents.
Absolutely, and he's now blinded with rage, and anybody he sees is Z Williams, the monster himself. And we've seen Vengeance take on a whole new level of aggression in this matchup.
That's right. I'll tell you something, I cannot wait until Z returns, because I want to see those two go at it now that Vengeance is blind with the rage. But then something happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, after the matchup itself, Jimmy Lee was getting up, trying to pick himself up, take himself out of the ring, and all of a sudden, here comes a bunch of guys from Total Aggression Pro Wrestling and jump Jimmy Lee right in the middle of the ring.
Who are those guys to get involved in my show? They say, "Oh yeah, PK and Joe, we don't want you at our show." I didn't want to be there anyway. I'm so busy with all my companies, all my lawyers, and all the things I'm doing out there in Los Angeles. I wouldn't want to be here anyway. But they had the nerve to get into my show and go beat up one of my wrestlers. I'll tell you some David Garrison and Tap. Let me tell you something. Do what you want. Play with your little, promotion or whatever. We rule. We're the kings. We're the OSWA, and we own this building. Do anything like that again, you'll have to answer to me. You understand?
Oh, see, true, but they are in action next week right here at the arena, but
Yeah.
See, this to say, I have a feeling Jimmy Lee may be paying a visit to them.
I would love to. I'd love to see Jim Lee go out there and take care of those bums. They had no business in our business, in my business, in my ring. But then came the main event.
Yes, the main event of the evening, absolutely. The Ultimate Championship up for grabs. Jackson Carter defending against the Highlander Johnny Walker, and the action was absolutely brutal from the get-go.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something. We went back and forth. Jackson Carter, though, member of the Bad Boys Club, therefore part of the elite, one of the best ones out there. He goes up against Johnny Walker. He starts getting the upper hand. What does Johnny Walker do? He manages to pull the referee Brandon right in front of him so that Jackson Carter runs into him. Has him purposely knocked out.
No, that's not what I remember. What I saw was Jackson Carter in the corner turnbuckle. He pulls the referee in front as Johnny Walker's coming in for a big splash. Ends up inadvertently hitting the referee, knocking him out of the match.
Oh, yeah. Well, then in comes Lee Justice, the referee that can't count to three, the referee that doesn't know even one language, he doesn't speak English and grew up here in America. And he comes in here, and then Johnny Walker controls him to get a 3 count. And Johnny Walker thought he got the Ultimate title, but he didn't.
He had the title won. Unfortunately, the original ref, Brandon Todd, came to ringside and said that Jackson Carter was disqualified because of the inadvertent pull. Therefore, he still walks away with the championship.
That's right. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Brandon, the referee, was too smart for Johnny Walker and his antics and his need for cheap victory. And you know what? I was cheering on Jackson Carter. You know what? He's our champion. He deserves the respect he gets. And then that sore loser, Johnny Walker, you know what he does? He proceeds to chase after me, put his hands on me, whip me with his belt. I'll tell you something right now. I am disgusted with his lack of sportsmanship and what a sore loser he is. And I'll tell you something. If he's here right now, you know what I'd do? I'd take that belt off that skirt of his and I'd whip him with it.
Well,
that's what I would do.
The reason he did that was simply because of what you said.
You think I fear him? No.
Well, let me see.
You think I fear that? No. I'll tell you something, Johnny Walker. You come to my face, I will beat you down, I will whip you down, and I'll teach you a lesson.
Well, it's funny you should say that because guess who our special guest is this week on the recap? It's the Highlander himself, Johnny Walker. Johnny, come on in here.
What?
I think you got some words you need to say, so I'm just going to step over here and let you guys
stand over here.
I'm just out of the way and just let you guys handle your business and do what you need to do.
Johnny Walker, we are here. We need to establish a sort of sense of professionalism here. And so, in spite of things that might have been said, things that might have been unintentionally...
You know what, Joe? I don't care. This wasn't about the gold. Having the Ultimate title there for a second, it was nice. It was nice. I didn't pull the referee in front of me. Jackson Carter did it. And that's fine. That's fine because this really wasn't about Jackson Carter and the Ultimate Championship. This is about Jake Hughes and his disrespect for me and the fans and everyone else here.
Right.
I made him, but I'm going to destroy him. Jackson Carter got lucky. He's a good champion. He fought hard, but I had him. But Jake Hughes needs to remember, I don't care about gold. I don't care about pride anymore. I don't care about a lot of things. The one thing I do care about, is getting my hands on Jake Hughes. And anybody who gets in my way of getting my hands on Jake Hughes. Jake, 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Some very, very strong words from the Highlander right there. Joe, you going to be okay?
Yeah, I tell you something. It's a good thing there were some security guards in here. It was a good thing I was able to maintain my professionalism. And I'm glad that I was able to control my killer instincts.
Right. We'll see if Johnny Walker's able to get his hands on Jake Hughes in 2 weeks. We're back here for another edition of the O Show right here, October 3rd, live in the O Arena. We want to invite everybody to come out and join us for more information about everything here at OSWA. Make sure you visit our website, oswaentertainment.com.
That's right, everybody. Remember, I'm going to be here on the 3rd. I know you love me. I know you want to be here, and you're going to pay double to see me, but you don't have to.
Absolutely. For Joe, I'm Michael Gentry. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks, folks.